Shalom, family. I'm your brother Mark.
Shalom, it's your brother Lamawad.
Shalom. We pray that y'all out there doing well, and that the Most High is blessing you all and keeping you all in good spirits, and that you are getting your knowledge up, that you enduring in these last days, that you keeping His law, statutes, commandments, and that you teaching others this truth and sending it out to those that will hearken, whether they hear or forbear. But this word is gonna go out, and these prophecies gonna go out. All praises to the Most High. And the world is in so much chaos, so it's only right that the priest of the Most High, the ones that He gave His law, statutes, commandments to in the last days, just keep bringing out this knowledge. And family, today we're gonna go into our lesson on the beast and the false prophet. What's the beast and the false prophet? That fourth kingdom to rule the earth, and the false prophet that's speaking the words of the fallen one. And we see this week you have Pope Benedict, I think it's the 16th, had passed away, and the Most High just had this on my heart this week to just bring this out, because you see a lot of followers of this Catholic Church worldwide. You see hundreds of thousands of people flying in to go see this funeral of this Pope. And you see that, if you didn't know, it's been over 266 popes. Same agenda. These old men, the Edomites, saying that they following Christ with their sun worship and they sun worship cross, Babylonian idols, same images that you've seen in ancient Egypt, the same wardrobe. It's not a priestly wardrobe that the Most High gave to the Israelites. They have completely just blasphemed His doctrine, told you that His people don't matter no more, gave you Caesar Borgia as them to look at. And is this just basic information? Caesar Borgia, the Israelites always bring that out because that white image of Christ wasn't, that is not what Christ looked like, and that's not what the Israelites look like. And then just brainwashing the world into saying, well, it doesn't matter. All truth should matter. Get Isaiah chapter 26 verse 2. The truth matters, unless you want to live a lie. The Most High is about truth. It say that Christ is the way, the truth, and the light. Right? Bring that out.
The book of Isaiah chapter 26 and verse 2. Open ye the gates, that the righteous nation which keepeth the truth may enter in.
And that's what we're trying to do. That the Father open up His gates for the righteous nation that keep the truth. The Gentile nations ruling the world, they're not keeping the truth. They're keeping the truth away from their people. From their people that look like them, from their bloodline, their own nation. Whether it's the so-called Arabs and Ishmaelites keeping the truth away from their people about what they're really worshiping, or you got the Edomites, or you got Japheth, or you got whatever nation, right? And so it's only right that through the Spirit of Most High that we go into this beast and this false prophet. Let's go to Lamentation chapter 4, verse 22. Because we see that, they've been ruling the world for a long time. Ancient times, these spirits that's around, it's bigger than just Esau. They just getting their turn. They just getting their turn to rule the world in the last days. The final Gentile nation to rule the earth. Bring that out.
This is the book of Lamentations, chapter 4 and verse 22. The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished.
Mm-hmm.
O daughter of Zion, He will no more carry thee away into captivity.
Because we done been everywhere. You done went from Egypt, Israelites, you done went to ancient Assyria. You done went to ancient Babylon, ancient Persia. You done went to Grecia in the Greek captivity. You done went, and you're still in Roman captivity. And you done been dispersed, just moved all over the earth. And now deceiving you and thinking that you free because you could just pay into the system. You could pay to play. But they got your mind. You think it don't matter. You don't care what your heritage is. So He's saying the captivity is accomplished now.
He will visit thine iniquity O daughter of Edom.
So Edom got a big payback coming. This is what the words say. Edom, do rulers of Edom, the rulers of Edom got payback coming, and they have an agenda of what they're trying to accomplish. Remember, say he want to sit on the mount of the congregation. Get that. Go to Isaiah chapter 14. He wants to sit on the mount of the congregation. He want to be like the Most High. So he has a people that want to do everything that he say to get everything they want in this world, right? Go to Isaiah 14 and verse 12.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 14 and verse 12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which did weaken the nations? For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation and the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High.
He say he gonna be like the Most High. He will ascend into the sides of the north. Right? Finish reading.
Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee, and consider thee, saying, Is this the man that made the earth tremble, that did shake kingdoms, that made the world as a wilderness, and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of his prisoners?
That's what it says. The fallen one, the adversary, he want to sit in the sides of the north. Go to Psalms 48 and 2. He wants to sit in the sides of the north. What's the sides of the north? He wants to sit on the congregation of the Most High's people, and he want to plague the world with his doctrine. But we're not going out like that. Psalm 48 and 2.
This is the book of Psalm, chapter 48 and verse 2. Beautiful for situation. The joy of the whole earth is Mount Zion, on the sides of the north, the city of the great king.
That's what he want to do. He trying to get into the heavens. So they make sure they NASA every year. NASA. NASA means deceiver in Hebrew. Let's get some more scripture on that. Let's get 1 John chapter 2, because you also see all this antichrist, because they plague the world with their doctrine from the Jesuits and from the Catholic Church, giving you people like we was bringing out the other day through the spirit of Charles T. Russell. We still got to get into some more of them, right? But giving you doctrine instead of thus saith the Lord, and got the people waiting on this rapture and this antichrist, this one antichrist to come. And you just sitting back as the world being destroyed, breaking a lot of people's faith in the last days. But the mighty gonna stand strong in these days, because we trying to see the fall. We trying to see the judgment. It's many souls that have been just taken through the darkness, taken through the brainwashing. That's why the Most High say you got to circumcise your heart, right? And then you come to Christ, and then you can see. Your vision be straight. Bring that out. Go for chapter 2, verse 18.
This is the book of 1 John, chapter 2 and verse 18. Little children, it is the last time, and as ye have heard, that Antichrist shall come. Even now are there many Antichrists, whereby we know that it is the last time.
It's many antichrists, and there be many antichrists even in Paul, and even in that time. So it can't just be one person that we just waiting on. You see, from pope to pope, using them vessels as hosts for demons. They wait for that black smoke to come out white and say, okay, we've elected a new pope. They let that black smoke come out, and then the white smoke come out, putting it all in the movies. And then you see they just Now they bowing down to the next pope, kissing a ring, calling him Holy Father and all that. The Bible say you're not supposed to do that. Most High Christ say don't do that. Go to Matthew 23:9. Behold what you got in yeah.
It's the book of Matthew, chapter 23 and verse 9. And call no man your father upon the earth, for one is your Father which is in heaven. Neither,
We not supposed to be calling you're not supposed to be calling no other man your father, saying this your father in heaven. This is what they do. Oh, Holy Father. That's what they calling the Pope, right? Ain't got no spirituality going on. Well, he got some spirit, not no spirituality from the Most High, not no righteousness, and everyone just going there, no Bible in hand. That's why he say go Isaiah chapter 8 verse 20. No Bible in hand, and they just want to just go through their books, just like Charles T. Russell was bringing out with his comic books, Jehovah Witnesses and their pamphlets and all that. No, you got to be reading out the book of the prophets. They not reading that. They not the prophets. They can't give you prophecy. They know. They might know a little bit about their destruction. Bring it out.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 8 and verse 20. To the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them.
They don't got no light. They can't deal in this book like that. They don't got no light. So you gotta seek ye out of the book of the Lord. If you, your loved one, family members, whoever, if you just letting them just teach you about the Most High, not according to this word is what they should be going off of. But the world's not going off of this word. They're going off of images. They're going off feel good speeches. Go to back to 1 John chapter 2. Let's get verse 22 and 23.
It's the book of 1 John chapter 2 and verse 22. Who is a liar but he that denieth that Yeshua is the Christ? He is an antichrist that denieth the Father and the Son. Whosoever denieth the Son, the same hath not the Father. But he that acknowledgeth the Son hath the Father also.
And that's in the other doctrines of the world. Being led by the Catholic Church, which is the mother of all harlots, when we're going to get into it. The great whore that sit on many waters, as the Bible say, right? Using different flags, but it's all traces back to Edom. It all traces back to the eagle. And just like in Islam, oh yeah, but the prophet Jesus, may peace be upon him, but they don't believe he was the son. He don't believe that he was the first spirit made in the heavens. They think that it doesn't matter. They don't know that his blood was a sacrifice for the Israelites to get them back, because they lose their heritage. We be brainwashed. And Lama White, if you got something, come on in, because our people really need to know the importance of just why this stumbling block called the Catholic Church, the false prophet, the Pope, and they think it's just something righteous, and it's totally against the Most High. And since people have set up idolatry in their heart, a lot of people not gonna make it. They not gonna make it into that glorious kingdom. You know, go to Psalms 136 in Psalm.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 96 and verse 4. For the Lord is great and greatly to be praised. He is to be feared above all gods. For all the gods of the nations are idols.
All the idols that they got in there is not of the Most High. It don't have nothing to do with him. They all dealing with idols. Go to Psalms 116, verse 11.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 116 and verse 11. I said in my haste, all men are liars. What shall I render unto the Lord?
Nah, that's
for all
it.
his... Go.
That's it. Jump it over to get Psalms 118 and chapter 8.
The book of Psalms, chapter 118 and verse 8. It is better to trust in the Lord than to put confidence in man.
And that's what everyone is doing. They're putting confidence in this one man, in this pope, in this Babylonian religion. And if you dealing in that Catholic churches, any of them, whether you in Rome or just the ones in your city, if you don't feel that energy is wicked and evil, something is wrong. You just not connected with the Most High. You gotta really get back and connect with Him, because them idols and all that stuff up in there. Let's get the whole chapter. Let's get Psalms 115. You better get up out of there. You should be feeling that's not of the Most High.
This is the book of Psalm, chapter 115, verse 1. Not unto us, O Lord, not unto us, but unto thy name give glory, for thy mercy and for thy truth's sake. Wherefore should the heathen say, where is now their God? But our God is in the heavens. He hath done whatsoever he hath pleased. Their idols are silver and gold, the work of men's hands. They have mouths, but they speak not. Eyes have they, but they see not. They have ears, but they hear not. Noses have they, but they smell not. They have hands, but they handle not. Feet have they, but they walk not. Neither speak they through their throat. They that make them are like unto them. So is everyone that trusteth in them. O Israel, trust thou in the Lord. He is their help and their shield.
That's right. We gotta trust in the Most High. We're not worried about their idols. Go to Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, in Apocrypha. Let's start at verse 21.
This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14 and verse 21. And this was an occasion to deceive the world. For men serving either calamity or tyranny did ascribe unto stones and stocks the incommunicable name. Moreover, this was not enough for them, that they erred in the knowledge of God. But whereas they lived in the great war of ignorance, those so great plagues called they peace. For whilst they slew their children in sacrifices, or used secret ceremonies, or made reverence.
Because that's what they're doing too. All these secret ceremonies. You don't even know what they're talking about. All these prayers to the saints. The saints are the Israelites. Precept, Psalms chapter 50. You know, they saying that you just praying to the saints when you see them statues of Semiramis and calling them Mary. That's why the Most High say they just blaspheming all up and through there. The false prophet. He's talking about Jesus and Christ and all that. And all the different statues. And the whole heritage of the Most High is against everything they up in there doing. Everything they up in there doing. They dealing with children. But how many cases? You think about this. The world is so powerless. It's such in darkness. You come up against the Israelites, and they in there got so many reports about touching on children. Touching on children, this pope, that pope, and everyone just, Holy Father, the Pope, all that stuff that the people just, they're not out there going up against that. The news isn't putting them in a bad light, but you put the Israelites in a bad light. That's why he say the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Finish reading.
Pick up at verse 24. Nope, it's like 23. For whilst they slew their children in sacrifices, or used secret ceremonies, or made revelings of strange rites, they kept neither lives nor marriages any longer undefiled.
Let me come in right there. You strange rites. Isn't that what they call it? Scottish rite, York rite. All the different secret societies, this rite, that rite. Everything they get is from they try to get from the word and do a copycat. Remember, Lucy is a copycat. He want to be like the Most High, like Isaiah 14 said. Finish reading.
But either one slew another treacherously or grieved him by adultery, so that there reigned in all men without exception blood, manslaughter, theft, and dissimulation, corruption, unfaithfulness, tumults, perjury, disquieting of good men, forgetfulness of good terms, defiling of souls, changing of kind.
And that's what they doing too right now. Changing of kinds, pushing all the different, telling you it's okay for a man to be a woman to be a man. The changing of kinds, that's what they doing.
Disorder in marriages.
Saying that a woman could marry a woman and a man could marry a man. That's not marriage. That's not what the Most High put in the earth.
Adultery and shameless uncleanliness. For the worship of idols not to be named is the beginning, the cause, and the end of all evil.
Because you ain't keeping no commandments. If you bound down to idols, you're not keeping no commandments. You in darkness. You start getting a reprobate mind.
Verse 28. For either they are mad when they be married, or prophesy lies, or live unjustly, or else lightly forswear themselves. For in so much as their trust is in idols, which have no life, though they swear falsely, yet they look not to be hurt. Howbeit for both causes shall they be justly punished, both because they thought not well of God, giving heed unto idols, and also unjustly swore in deceit, despising holiness. For it is not the power of them by whom they swear, but it is the just vengeance of sinners that punisheth always the offense of the ungodly.
It's payment for that. So let's go into some video on this blaspheme worships.
History is being made today. You see the Vatican right there, St. Peter's Basilica. We are seeing the final hours of a living Pope, Benedict XVI, preparing now to leave the Vatican for the last time as Pope, the first Pope in almost 600 years to relinquish power and retire. There he is leaving the Vatican right now, accompanied by Secretary of State Cardinal Bertone. And he will walk out into the courtyard of San Damaso, where Swiss guards and the entire papal household is already arrayed to say farewell to their Pope. Pope moving slowly now, 8 years as Pope. Said he was retiring in part because he was no longer up to the physical, intellectual, and emotional demands of the job.
Misericordiae Tue, Pater clementissime, Papam emeritum benedictum committimus, quem Petri successorem constituiti et ecclesiae pastorem, nuncium intrepidum verbi Tui divinorum mysteriorum fidelem dispensatorem.
Let's go to 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 1 and 2.
This is the book of 1 Timothy, chapter 4 and verse 1. Now the Spirit speaketh expressly, that in the latter times some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils.
These are the devil's doctrines, what they're dealing with. These seducing spirits. They think that they have the faith of Christ. They don't really know what the faith is. They got faith in these popes. They got faith in these false prophets, in these so-called cardinals, and in these so-called bishops and stuff that they're saying, right? Even in the truth. You got people that's going to just, well, the elder said, the bishop said, the deacon said, and that's good. You should be having someone that you definitely need help with bringing out these scriptures according to thus said the Lord. But when you know something is wrong, you should say, is this is wrong right here, right? And they should be proving all things. They shouldn't be misleading you, going off of the Most High, because it's the Most High's word. And we're not supposed to be Lord over the Most High's flock. You just supposed to take care of the flock. Finish reading.
Verse 2, speaking lies and hypocrisy, having their conscience seared with a hot iron.
That conscience with a hot iron. Let's go to 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. Let's get verse 1 through 12.
This is the book of 2 Thessalonians, chapter 2 and verse 1. Now we beseech you, brethren, by the coming of our Lord Yeshua Christ, by our gathering together unto him, that ye be not soon shaken in mind, or be troubled, neither by spirit, nor by word, nor by letter as from us, as that the day of Christ is at hand. That no man deceive you by any means. For that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God.
That son of perdition. There's going to be a falling away first. A lot of people going to fall away into sin, right? Get that. Get Ecclesiastes 15 and 11. Ecclesiasticus Sirach.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, said 15 and 11. Come. Say not thou, it is through the Lord that I fell away. For thou oughtest not to do the things that he hated.
Don't be falling away first. Go back to what you had.
2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 4. Who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he, as God, sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. Remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things? And now ye know what withholdeth, that he might be revealed in his time. For the mystery of iniquity doth already work.
So the mystery of iniquity was already working when Paul was writing this book of Thessalonians, right? When he was writing to that church.
Only he who now letteth will let, until he be taken out of the way. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming.
Who's he coming to destroy with the spirit's mouth? Get that. Go to Revelation. Hold that. Get Revelation 19 and 15.
It's the book of Revelation, chapter 19 and verse 15. And out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, that with it he should smite the nations, and he shall rule them with the rod of iron. And he treaded the winepress of fierceness and wrath of Almighty God.
Who's the winepress? Go to Isaiah chapter 63. Hold that in 2 Thessalonians. Go to Isaiah 63. Who's the winepress? Page is falling.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 63, verse 1. Who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Basra?
So Edom, the chief house of Edom that's ruling the world, that's running the United Nations, New World Order, One World Military, all the madness.
This that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength. I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save. Wherefore art thou red in thine apparel, and thine garments like him that treadeth in the wine fat?
He's coming back bloody.
I have tread in the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me.
None of those people coming from Edom, that winepress, none of them over there is with him. Do not think for a little bit, well, maybe they don't know on the poster, just maybe they don't know. None of them is with him. They know when they enter in Freemasonry and all these different rites and all this, they know at the end of the tunnel they with the devil. It is no one up in there thinking, oh, this is surprising to me, because this is what they're doing. Go to Isaiah chapter 63. Matter of fact, finish out that verse 3, 63 and 3 in Isaiah, and then let's get that. Let's finish that out.
For I will tread them in mine anger, and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiment. For the day of vengeance is in my heart, and the year of my redeemed is come.
He ain't coming back to just, I'm sorry, he's not that doctrine that baby Jesus, the baby Jesus and this and that. No, it's not none of that. He's coming to cleanse the world of all the evil, and the last enemy that he's going to destroy is death. And then he's giving those that's following what he says to do, he's going to give them an eternal kingdom and an immortality. Go to Isaiah 29 and 15.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 29 and verse 15. Woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord, and their works are in the dark. And they say, who seeth us? And who knoweth us?
Yeah, they think they're in the dark. Just like when we was in there and we was seeing stuff. Been really watching a lot on this Vatican this week, and just finding if all the little tours they had in there, is anyone going to show some of the things that we saw in there, and you can't find it. All the stuff along the sides, and just people just with their cameras just, oh, this is pretty, this is cute, and they just get you with the sorcery. You don't really see what's in the cracks. You don't really see the demonic things they got going on up in there. And the Most High got judgment for that. You can't be following these leaders. Go to 2 Timothy chapter 2 verse 15. It's time for the true doctrine, the apostles' doctrine, to get back, because this world can't have the apostles' doctrine because nobody's getting they not banning it. Oh, but now that the Israelites are up, oh, now it's new laws getting in place, trying to strip all this street preaching, watching all this. Oh, it was just fine when you was in Islam and you was in the Catholic Church and you was doing Christmas and Easter and you was saying it didn't matter and you was with Nation of Islam. But now that the truth has hit the earth, now the apostles' doctrine is back, Christ's true doctrine is back, and now persecution on the way. That's good, because that means that our kingdom on the way, and this wicked kingdom is falling, and all you the wicked of our people, it's time to get right. It's time to come on back home, or you gonna be judged with the wicked. Christ came to save you. Come and pick your keys up. Come pick the keys up. Where you at?
2 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 15. Study to show thyself approved unto God, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth.
Rightfully dividing the word of truth. I don't think I've ever seen Pope read out this book of the Lord. Go to Acts chapter 2, verse 42. They need to keep their hands off babies. Christ say you better suffer the children to come to him. You better not be destroying children, right? Paraphrasing, bring it out.
This is the book of Acts, chapter 2, and verse 42. And they continue steadfastly in the apostles' doctrine and fellowship.
The apostles' doctrine. They don't have the apostles' doctrine just because they calling themselves Pope John Paul and Pope and Peter and because they're buried under that basilica. I don't know if you did, Lama, but I didn't even know that I'm just thinking they was saying that Peter was buried down there. They saying over 100 other popes is buried down there. How wicked is that? You talking about Tales from the Crypt from back in the day? Man, all these movies in Hollywood and stuff they got going. Man, them some freaky Edomites. Them dudes is. But that serpent seed.
The people going in there that's recording, they ain't even showing it. Like they'll walk right past it, but it's dark and it's spiraled down and there's a door. And for them to just tell us these people just buried under there.
And they got even though the crosses represent Tammuz, I've seen some from this week on the video. They got when you go on the other side of that door, you can't see it, but I seen in this video because the camera was pointed the opposite direction. They got the upside down crosses on the opposite side of the door, pointing downward. So, woo! But they the leaders and ministers of darkness. They just doing their job. They doing what they was made for. They were doing to show forth the Most High's greatness and his judgment. The same way Pharaoh was brought up. This is why they're here, to get this judgment. Go to Revelation chapter 12. Start that out from the top.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 12 and verse 1. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. And she being with child cried, travailing in birth, and pain to be delivered.
And we know that the 12 stars represent the 12 tribes of Israel.
Verse 3. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns.
And we know that Rome sits on 7 mountains, and we know the 10 horns are the empires that grew out of the Roman Empire, that they've colonized, put their people there, hiding behind all the many different names. Hiding behind the many different names. But all with the United Nations.
And 7 crowns upon his heads. And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven. And did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman which was ready to be delivered.
And we know who was standing before Christ at his birth. We know Herod, the Idumean, the Edomite. The Edomites, the world powers, the Amalekites, the grandson of Esau, representing the serpent seed, are the people against whom the Lord have indignation against forever. Get that. And what's that? Numbers. Numbers 24 and 29. And Exodus 17 and 16. Get those two.
Exodus what?
17 and verse 16.
I'm gonna get the numbers first.
Con.
It's the book of it's like in Numbers, chapter 24 and verse 20. And when he looked on Amalek, he took his parable and said, Amalek was the first nation of the nations, but his latter end shall be that he perish forever.
He's done with them. Uh-huh.
And he looked to, you want me to read the next one?
Nah, go to Exodus 17, get verse 13 through 16, and let's get the one in Deuteronomy chapter 25. Let's hit them all.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 17 and verse 13. And Joshua discomfited Amalek and his people with the edge of the sword.
When we was leaving Egypt, they was behind us. Who's with us right now? We just want to help. Get your juice. We stay bringing it out. What they gonna keep coming with? Everything they come with? Nope. Why you not taking it? Wear your mask. Why you not scared? Why you still on TV telling us how we should be? If this is so scary, and we healthier than y'all. Uh-huh.
And the Lord said unto Moses, write this for a memorial in a book, and rehearse it in the ears of Joshua. For I will utterly put out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven. And Moses built an altar, called the name of it Ahionesis. For he said, because the Lord hath sworn that the Lord will have war with Amalek from generation to generation.
Generation to generation. So who was always oppressing these so-called black and brown people? Who was always just destroying their own people that look like them? But also, who's really been after that woman, that 12 tribes of Israel scattered, calling themselves Moors, calling themselves Muslim, calling themselves Christian, calling themselves Roman, calling themselves Egyptian, because we were scattered even before the slave ships. When you do the research, calling themselves Grecian, calling themselves American right now, in Jamaican and Haiti, and calling yourself Mexican. You taking pride in speaking Spanish. You didn't know you was colonized. You didn't know that, mija. You didn't know that, mijo. you didn't know that you was an Israelite and we brethren. But now you know. Now you know that we are brethren and sisters, and it's time to come on back and get prepared for the world destruction and the final war to come. Because he's coming back, and he's coming back and leading you into that war just like in old times. He say that he's going to do that all over again. Get that scripture. Get what you got in where you at?
We had something in Deuteronomy. I missed it though.
Yeah, get 25 and 19.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 25 and verse 19. Therefore it shall be, when the Lord thy God hath given thee rest from all thine enemies round about, and the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee for an inheritance to possess it, that thou shalt blot out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven. Thou shalt not forget it.
They gonna still be here, hiding in the rocks and all that, underground bunkers. No, the Most High say they coming up out of them bunkers. He say he gonna make them to bow before thy feet and to know that I have loved thee. The ones that's calling them Jews, but they are the synagogue of Satan. No, you Rome. No, you Edom. No, you Amalek. He's saying the last days he's gonna uncover their secret places. Man, look, I'm gonna just keep it real. Wasn't no one reading all these books like this before the truth? All up in their school system, you were just trying to just get through the school system. A lot of our people, right? You just trying to pass the class so you could just get through. You was tired of hearing the lies about Columbus and them making him out to be a good guy. You was tired of hearing about just another Martin Luther King that was set up by the NAACP that they made. You was just tired of just all the, okay, Malcolm X look real. Oh, our own people got him. Who's funding them? Who's Far Muhammad? Who's Far Muhammad that taught Elijah Muhammad? Who's this dude? Who's Charles Taze Russell? Who's Joseph Smith? Who's John Smith? We gonna just keep exposing the lies, family. Go to Zechariah 14 in verse 2. And verse 3.
Said 2 and 3.
Come.
It's the book of Zechariah, chapter 2 and verse 3. And behold, the angel that had talked with me went forth, and another angel went out to meet him, and said unto him, Run, speak to this young man, saying, Jerusalem shall be inhabited as towns without walls for the multitude of men and cattle therein.
Because that's what's coming when the wilderness come, when world destruction come, and they turn it off on all these systems. People got to get prepared.
For I say, the Lord will be unto her a wall of fire round about,
just like back then.
and will be the glory in the midst of her. Ho, 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 come forth and flee from the land of the north, saith the Lord. For I have spread you abroad as the four winds of the heaven, saith the Lord.
Where you at?
Zechariah?
Yeah, where you at in Zechariah?
6 now.
Nah. Go to where you on? Go to 14 and verse 2. But that was good for what we bringing out. That's for the future prophecy. Zechariah 14 verse 2 and 3.
Come. It's the book of Zechariah, chapter 14 and verse 2. For I will gather all nations against Jerusalem to battle, and the city shall be taken, and the houses rifled, and the woman ravished. And half of the city shall go forth into captivity, and the residue of the people shall not be cut off from the city. Then shall the Lord go forth and fight against those nations as when he fought in the days of battle.
He going out just like in the days of battle back then, when we couldn't go out unless we had the Ark of the Covenant, slaughtering the enemies. That's why I got all these old Ark of the Covenants in Ethiopia. Edom would have been came and got that. Ethiopia ain't got no power over there with Esau's military that's worldwide. Oh, they got the Ark of the Covenant. Man, that's the number one weapon they looking for through all this archaeology. They was looking for that. They wasn't looking for the mummies and all the power in Egypt. Their power in Egypt, they just dealing with the same spirits. Ain't nothing coming back to Egypt. Egypt is done. They was looking for that Ark of the Covenant. But now, let's go back to Revelation chapter 12. Because this is why they don't want these prophecies. They think they can offset it, but they can't. He left a remnant. He woke us up. It's some of us that wasn't falling for the 2020 campaign. It's some of us that don't care about the money. A lot of people done giving it all back once this truth came. Oh, they could have that. Just give me my food, shelter, raiment. Now you learning Feast of Tabernacles. You learning how to tent. You learning how to cook your food outside. You learning how to plant. He's giving it all back just in time. Go to where was you at in Revelation 12?
The middle of verse 4.
Yeah, let's finish that out.
Picking up at Revelation chapter 12 and verse 4. And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. And she brought forth a man child, who was to rule all nations with the rod of iron.
Speaking of Christ,
And her child was caught up unto God and to his throne. And the woman fled into the wilderness, where she hath a place prepared of God, that they should feed her there 1,260 days. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels, and prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven.
Because when you go into the book of Job, first chapter, you see that he had access into the heavens. You know, just like in the Marvel movies with Loki, always getting back in there. No, he got kicked out. He can't get back into the heavens once Christ went to the tabernacle and put his blood in. His blood was accepted upon the holy tabernacle. He couldn't no more accuse the brethren. When you precept in Revelation chapter 5, finish reading.
Verse 9. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him.
So the spirits over these nations, these spirits, these demons, are these fallen angels. These spirits that's over all these idolatry religions. Go to get that Strong's Concordance for a dragon.
This is the Strong's for dragon. This is 1404. Dracon. It says a dragon or a huge serpent met Satan. To see the root of English term dragon, properly seeing one used mythical dragon, seeing their prey from far away. It says Satan in chapter 12 of Revelation, verse 7 and 9. Exercising his subtle, indirect impact on heathen governments.
On the heathen governments. So he's behind the heathen governments, exercising his subtle. Remember the book of Genesis? More subtle than any beast of the field. This is who has an impact on the heathen governments. The Most High chose the Israelites to bring forth the truth to him. The heathen governments. Let that sink for a minute. Finish reading.
Accomplishing his hellish agenda from behind the scenes.
From behind the scenes. He's behind the scenes, the all-seeing eye everywhere. Read that next. The ancient Greeks classified.
The ancient Greeks classified a dragon as a type of serpent. A dragon was believed to have incredible insight, able to spot prey in any hiding place.
And that's what he's trying to do now. He got the AI, the artificial intelligence, trying to track you everywhere about. He trying to make sure. No. We remember the last time they went and got the land of Canaan, and none of his governments could stop them. Dang, it's coming back again. They're waking up. This is trouble for them behind the scenes right now. Even though brothers and sisters got different doctrines, we all know Israel. We all know we're supposed to be keeping the laws of the Most High. That don't mean everyone is doing it, but they see that awakening. They do not want this power that what we just brought out in the spirit, Zechariah chapter 14 or 13. They don't want that. They don't want that to happen. But it's already written. They want the curses of us to have happen, but now they don't want the return of Israel. Of course they don't. Go to, jump it down 12 and verse 13 in Revelation.
Book of Revelation, chapter 12 and verse 13. And when the dragon saw that he was cast unto the earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man-child. And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place, where she is nourished for a time, and times, and half a time, from the face of the serpent.
And that's what we did. We fled all up and through from the face of the serpent, being scattered for our own good, though, for the Most High, the will of the Most High. We were scattered everywhere just to prophesy all over the earth right now. Just for us to come together, all of it is all prophecy of the Most High. And we all playing a part in it. Whether you know it or not, whether you like it or not, whether you made for the kingdom or you made for destruction. And if you don't believe, then you're over there with the heathen nations that you're nothing but game for Satan. You nothing but a tip for him. Why not take a tip? If you at work and you a waiter or waitress, you ain't saying no to a tip. Come on. Finish reading.
Verse 15. And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood. And the earth helped the woman. And the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood, which the dragon cast out of his mouth.
The dragon and cast that flood, took us everywhere. Go Isaiah chapter, go Daniel 9:26.
This is the book of Daniel, chapter 9 and verse 26. And after 62 weeks shall Messiah be cut off, but not for himself. And the people of the prince that shall come, and the people of the prince that shall come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary.
Because we know Antiochus Epiphanes and them came during the time of Maccabees and destroyed parts of Jerusalem.
And the end thereof shall be with a flood.
Mm-hmm.
And unto the end of the war, desolations are determined.
Mm-hmm. Go to Isaiah chapter 59 and verse 19.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 59 and verse 19. So shall they fear the name of the Lord from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him.
That's what he came. Came like a flood and just, what do a flood do? Just push you everywhere. Destroy all the things in the world that can give you understanding, right? A flood come hit your home, you lose everything. You get scattered. Came in everywhere. Finish reading that.
Verse 20. And the Redeemer shall come to Zion.
No.
Them,
so like it in Revelation 19 or 12.
It's the book of Revelation, chapter 12 and verse 17. And the dragon was wroth with the woman, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of God and have the testimony of Yeshua Christ.
Mm-hmm. So if you keeping commandments, I don't want you keeping no commandments. That mean he losing once you start keeping commandments. That mean you cleaned up. We in this book to get into the beast and a false prophet. This the life and times of Rodrigo Borgia, Pope Alexander VI. We're gonna get some history on them. We're on page 54. Matter of fact, let's start at page 53. This is the siege of Granada, like we was bringing out with Queen Isabella and Ferdinand. You know, the ones that financed Christopher Columbus, and we know that over them was the Catholic Church. We're gonna be reading for a minute. We're on page 53. The great event of the reign of Ferdinand and Isabella was the war with Granada. For many centuries, the existence of this Moorish kingdom had been a bitter pill for the Spaniards to swallow. Isabella, in her sincere, though misguided religious zeal, deemed that the subjection of the Moors would be well-pleasing in the sight of heaven. Ferdinand, though animated by baser motives, supported his wife's desire. The Moorish king, old Mulli Abdul Hassan, was a brave and fiery warrior. Because the Moors was already colonized during this time, you're speaking about the middle of the 1400s. That, you know, Muhammad and them have already came through with the caliphs and all that, all through northern Africa and spread their Islam during the time of 7th century, 8th century, 9th century. So you talking about Islam was already spread on there through the so-called Israelites all up and through West Africa, right? And the Moors under his lead made a valiant stand for their independence. Space forbids our going into the details of the wearisome and sanguinary war which dragged on until 1491, when the siege of the beautiful city of Granada, the last spot held by the infidel in Spain, was begun. The Moors defended it with wonderful tenacity, but famine and loss of their most courageous men forced them to capitulate. Their king, Boabdil, who had succeeded his father, was feeble and incapable, and greatly to the indignation of his subjects was only too glad to accept the ungenerous terms offered by the enemy. Early in January 1492, Isabella and Ferdinand made their triumphal entry into Granada. So they coming to take it. And Spain is right above North Africa, right next to Morocco. The queen mounted upon a splendid charger, rode by her husband's side, accompanied by the nobility and chivalry of Castile and Aragon, and many of their bravest soldiers. At a given signal, the city's gates were thrown open, and melancholy procession emerged. Boabdil, scornfully called the Little, with downcast eyes and dejected mien, advanced toward the royal group. He was about to dismount and kiss the feet of the queen and her husband in token of submission, but with diplomatic generosity they forbade it. Having delivered up the keys of the fallen city, Boabdil with his family and suite made their way toward the little principality of Al-Pajara Mountains, which had been assigned to him. From a hill above Granada, the sorrowful little cavalcade could view the glories of the noble city which had once been theirs. Tears ran down the cheeks of the unhappy king as he gazed upon it. Yes, weep, said his courageous and high-spirited mother. Weep like a woman, for the city you knew not how to defend like a man. 4 days after the delivery of the keys, Granada was blessed and purified with the sprinkling of holy water. So they done took Christ's doctrine, the so-called really Romans and Edomites, and this is, you talking about 1400. They have already had Constantine that done been put his hand in the teachings of the Bible and gave you what is today modern Christianity in the pagan form. So they doing everything in loose. They come through with the same doctrine they got today in the Catholic Church, sprinkling the water and all that madness, right? And made ready for the reception of Christian monarchs. The steep, narrow lane leading to the Alhambra from the Gate of Triumph, here we go, was lined by Christian troops, and only a few dark-skinned Moors scrolled from dusty jealousies high in the walls. And gangland of Castile, Leon, Aragon flashed and jingled after the king and queen. So the dark-skinned Moors, we're going to get some more on that. We're going to get some more. Why are we bringing this out? Because it said that the dragon was at war with us. The dragon been at war with us. The dragon been at war with us. Where we want to start this at? We in this book, Ferdinand and Isabella, Volume 2. This was made in Ferdinand the Catholic. This was made in 1800s. Let's get straight to it. We got a few things to read. We're on page 136. Expulsion of the Jews. When the period of departure arrived, all the principal routes through the country might be seen swarming with immigrants, old and young. The sick and the helpless men, women, and children mingled promiscuously together with mounted on horses or mules, but far the greater part undertaking their painful pilgrimage on foot. The sight of so much misery touched even the Spaniards with pity, though none might succor them, for the Grand Inquisitor Torquemada enforced the ordinance to that effect by denouncing heavy ecclesiastical censures on all who should presume to violate it. The fugitives were distributed along various routes, being determined in their destination by accidental circumstances much more than any knowledge of respective countries to which they were bound. Much the largest division, amounting according to some estimates to 80,000 souls, passed into Portugal, whose monarch, James II, dispensed with his scruples of conscience so far as to give them a free passage through his dominions on their way to Africa. Because we dispersed from Spain to Africa, moving you all up and through there. And lastly, through slavery. Jump it down, as considerable number found their way to the ports of Santa Maria, Cadiz, where after lingering some time in the vain hope of seeing the waters open for their egress according to the promises of rabbis, they embarked on board a Spanish fleet for the Barbary coast, having crossed over Ercilla, a Christian settlement in Africa. On and on. Let's get some more. Page 141. The expulsion of so numerous a class of subjects by any independent and sovereign might well regard it as an enormous stretch, a prerogative altogether. Here's the page. Incompatible with anything like a free government. But to judge the matter rightly, we must take into view the actual position of the Jews at that time. Far from forming an integral part of the Commonwealth, they were regarded as alien to it, as a mere exercise which, so far from contributing to the healthful action of the body politic, was nourished with its vicious humors, and might be locked off at any time when the health of the system demanded it. Far from being protected by the law, the only aim of the laws in reference to them was to define more precisely their civil incapabilities, and to draw the line of division more broadly between them and Christians, because they weren't the real Christians, but they turn themselves into that, right? Even this humiliation by no means satisfied the national prejudices as evinced by the greater number of tumults and massacres of which they were the victims. In these circumstances, it seemed to be no great assumption of authority to pronounce sentence of exile against those whom public opinion had so long proscribed as enemies to the state. Just like now, them Israelites speaking truth, it's all coming, family. We got to be ready. It was only carrying into effect that opinion expressed as it had been in a great variety of ways, and as far as rights of the nation were concerned, the banishment of a single Spaniard would have been held a grosser violation of them than that of the whole race of Israelites. It has been common with modern historians to detect a principal motive for the expulsion of the Jews in the avarice of the government. The old books always got more truth than the ones today. What's that one? Two more. Let's get two more. Why are we linking both of these in with the beast? With Rome? Why are we linking it in? This will be it, family. And then we'll get right back to it. Soon after Columbus's return to Spain, Ferdinand and Isabella applied to the court of Rome, because Rome is the head honcho, the fourth beast. They running the show. They used to have to go to the Pope, but now they got you thinking, oh, it doesn't matter. America, this, more deception. It all start with Rome, the fourth beast, running the show, to confirm them in the possession of their recent discoveries and invest them with similar extent of jurisdiction with that formerly conferred on the kings of Portugal. It was an opinion as ancient perhaps as the Crusades that the Pope, as vicar of Christ, had competent authority to dispose of all countries inhabited by heathen nations. They the heathen, and they coming after the Israelites saying that, no, these the heathen nations. We have to go get them, right? Madness. In favor of Christian pontificates, although Ferdinand and Isabella do not seem to have been fully satisfied of this right, yet they were willing to acquiesce in its assumption in the present instance, from the conviction that the papal sanction would most effectually exclude the pretensions of all others, and especially their Portuguese rivals, because they was after who's gonna get those Israelites, the Northern Kingdom, who's gonna get those people first, who's gonna colonize them first in competition. In their application to the Holy See, they were careful to represent their own discoveries as in no way interfering with the rights formerly conceded by it to their neighbors. They enlarged on their services in the propagation of faith, which they affirmed to be principal motive of their present operations. So they said it's a faith that we doing this. Coming off the boat with the Roman cross, and then you got our people. Oh, that's the white man's book, and they done use Christianity. Oh man, that's their book, but they not really digging. He say, study to show yourself approved. Trust on the Ruach. You gotta know that there's a Most High God when you look up and you see all that's in the sky. You know that this is it's bigger. They already got you colonized. You should think that the people of this world got a plan for this world. Finish reading. Look, I said finish reading. I'll read. They intimated finally that although many competent persons deemed their application to the court of Rome for a title to territories already in their possession to be unnecessary. Jump it over. Let's finish this up. On the 3rd of May, 1493, he published a bull. Let's see what a bull is. What is a papal bull? For those that may not know, what is a papal bull? A papal bull is a type of public decree, letters patent, or charter issued by a pope of the Catholic Church. So, the popes, they the ones, Pope Alexander VI, him, Pope Nicholas V, the ones that was writing these papal bulls to go get those, go colonize them. Go colonize them. That same red dragon that was always after us, the Roman Empire Edomites, the ones that's always been at war with us, big brother Esau. This is what it is. This is the war. The war. The two most important nations in this earth to follow according to prophecy. Let's finish. He published a bull in which, taking into consideration the eminent services of the Spanish monarchs in the cause of the church, especially in the subversion of the Mahometan Empire in Spain, Mahometan, because the Moors were following Islam. They didn't know they were Israelites. And you had some Jews that still knew their heritage of the Jews, but already discontinuing from our heritage, right? And willing to afford still wider scope for the prosecution of their pious labors out of pure liberality and infallible knowledge and plenitude of apostolic power. They don't have the apostle power. Confirm them in the possession of all lands discovered or hereafter to be discovered by them in the Western Ocean, comprehending the same extensive rights of jurisdiction with those formerly conceded to the kings of Portugal. We'll leave it there. Just going into that beast, right? Let's get back into this word. Let's finally get into this, the beast and the false prophet. Let's go to Revelation chapter 13 from the top. Bring that up.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 13 and verse 1. And I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power.
Because the dragon has given this beast its power. The dragon, the serpent, he the one that spirit that they dealing with. You thinking all these movies and all that's not real. You think that they are going from pope to pope and these spirits in this world are not being held as vessels for these demons? Finish reading.
And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed.
Because during the Renaissance, we know when the Roman Empire came back on the scene, all this 1400s, 1500s, 1600s, it's on. Their protection is gone. Go get the so-called tribe of Gad and the Northern Kingdom Indians, the so-called Puerto Ricans and the Mexicans and all them, colonize them. Get the Western Africa, get the Israelites that's over there. We got action at them. It's time to brainwash them. Time to get them under these, get them to labor for us. Time to get them in sin. That's what happened during the Renaissance. They came back on the scene and ruled the world back in full power. Stripping you of King James, giving you a whitewashed image of him, stripping you of King James, stripping England from you, all of that. Finish reading.
And all the world wandered after the beast. And they worshipped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast. And they worshipped the beast, saying, Who is like unto the beast?
Who is like unto the beast?
Who is able to make war with him? And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies. And power was given unto him to continue 42 months. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle, and them that dwell in heaven.
Because they straight blaspheming. Their doctrine is completely trying to use Christ's name. They completely blaspheme his whole heritage. But he got something for them.
Verse 7. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints.
And that's what they've done. The saints are the Israelites. They've made war with us for over 2,000 years now.
And to overcome them. And power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations. And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb.
And if you're watching this, I'll finish that last part out.
Slain from the foundation of the world.
From the foundation of the world. Because when you go into Ephesians, the first chapter tells us that we've been chosen from the foundation of the world. This isn't because you special, you special to represent the Most High, law, statute, commandments, be set apart lifestyle for this truth. Let's go Revelation 16. Let's start at verse 12. Yeah, let's go start at verse 12.
The book of Revelation, chapter 16 and verse 12. And the sixth angel poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates, and the water thereof was dried up, that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared.
And we see that what is all in the news, the Euphrates is drying up. It's drying up. A lot of people paying attention to that. It's drying up. They making way.
And I saw 3 unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet.
The false prophet. Read that part again.
And I saw 3 unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet.
So we see out of the mouth of the dragon, we see Satan casting out spirits. Out of the mouth of the beast, we see this beast kingdom, the 4th empire. It tells you that the beast is a kingdom when you go into Daniel 7. Out of the mouth of the false prophet. So out of the beast, we know that this 4th kingdom is sending out lies. And it's dealing with the mouth to say CNN, all that, giving you all your information. And out of the mouth of the false prophet. Let's get a false prophet in the Strong's Concordance. This false prophet, it's always this one that's representing Christianity and representing Jesus the Christ and representing this Bible. How is Rome representing him when they the one that killed him and the Israelites? That don't make no sense. Bring that out.
This is the strong concordance for false prophet. It is 5578. In the Greek, it says, or phonetic, it says, Phaiso dok raphitus. It says a false prophet, one who in God's name teaches what is false. Properly, a false prophet, someone pretending to speak the word of the Lord. Prophesied, but in fact is a phony, an impostor, acting as a wolf in sheep's clothing. A false prophet specializes in the art of misimpressions, like about how they were commissioned by the Lord to touch the world with their message.
Who's in the world saying that they're the one? Who they say that the Pope, the Holy See, is the one to represent the Most High in this earth? Finish reading.
But when in fact they operate by self and for self, so they must be exposed for what they are and are not.
We ain't messing with the false prophet or the beast kingdom. Finish reading. Go Revelation.
Picking up at verse 14 in Revelation 16. For they are the spirits of devils, working miracles which go forth unto the kings of the earth and of the whole world, to gather them to battle of that great day of God Almighty.
And that's what the Pope do. He go through all the United Nations governments, and they all kissing the ring, and they all just bowing down, because they know that the spirit of him, while everyone's thinking, yeah, he's dealing with the Holy Spirit and the Spirit of Christ. No, he's dealing with the spirit of the devil. He dealing with the spirit of the devil. And they all know that it's all coming from Rome. Bring that out.
Verse 15. Behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth and keepeth his garments, lest he walk naked and they see his shame.
Go to verse, just get chapter 17. Let's see the judgment of this great whore, as the Bible says.
Revelation chapter 17 and verse 1. And there came one of the seven angels, which had the seven vials.
Let's read it all. Let's read it out to verse 8.
And there came one of the seven angels, which had the seven vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color.
This is a different woman. This ain't the woman representing in chapter 12, representing the Israelites and with the 12 stars ahead. No, this is the woman that's riding this beast.
And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication.
How many times you see the pup holding up that gold cup? They showing you who they are. Finish reading.
Verse 5. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth.
Abominations of the earth. That means they doing every abominable thing. Finish reading.
And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints.
Wasn't the woman drunken with the blood of the saints slaughtering you since even before 70 AD? You talking about during the time right after Alexander the Greek's death. Slaughtering you for the last 2,000 some years. Got you destroying yourself in these communities. Just defiling your temple. Just straight destroying our people. And they talking about those Israelites teaching hate speech. Someone came on the comments. Family. Yes, we checked those out. Someone came in the comments and said, I was going to watch, But then I seen Hebrew Israelites and I just logged off. All I see is them yelling on the corner. But you left a whole comment. Why you didn't check it out? That's so you didn't know Christ looked like us. So what you gonna do? Oh no, he looks like the rest of those black people. You didn't judge. You didn't judge righteous judgment. That's why you gotta learn from the Israelites. Cause you don't even know how to judge righteously. You didn't say, well, maybe they're talking about Christ. Maybe they got a different doctrine. But if we look like Joel Osteen, you take lies all day, just like the Pope. No, you Negroes are slaves. Y'all can't really know the truth about this Bible. You guys can't be the Israelites. No. It says the prophets were called Niger and black. Moses' hand was changed to white. There is color in the no. You just accepted the Israelites is black. Your God got brown skin and woolly hair. Nothing's wrong with that. But you want him to look like the Pope. You want him to look like the Pope. He don't look like he got no life in him. Finish reading.
Verse 6. And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Yeshua. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. And the angel said unto me, wherefore didst thou marvel? I will tell thee the mystery of the woman and of the beast that carrieth her, which hath the 7 heads and 10 horns. The beast that thou sawest was and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit and go into perdition.
Like we was bringing out in what's that? 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 3. Finish reading.
And they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world, when they behold the beast that was and is not and yet is.
And when we see the beast, we know exactly what's going on with the beast. The beast, if the beast system and the beast of Rome, that church, if that didn't feel right to you, that means the Most High was working with you. If you getting your knowledge up now, you're not sitting here wondering at the beast like in awe. You looking at that as straight wickedness. You know it's not right. You written in the book of life. Just don't get blotted out by your sins. Go Revelation 19. Let's start at verse 19 through 21.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 19 and verse 19. And I saw the beast and the kings of the earth, and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse. Speaking
of Christ, when you start that chapter out. See, we didn't know this. We didn't know this before the truth came. A lot of us didn't know that Christ was coming for war. We didn't know that the whole one world government is for the battle of Armageddon. We didn't know that the one world military. Y'all done colonize the earth. It should be restful time now. All they got is who's not on their side? Iran. That's about it. That's prophesied Isaiah 13 to destroy Babylon. But we didn't know that this is what they was really prepping for his coming. Now he coming back for war to get his garments bloody. Finish reading.
And I saw the beast and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse and against his army. And the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast, and them that worshipped his image.
So it's more coming from the mark of the beast. It's more coming from his image. And we know all of it is part of the image when it comes to our doctrine. That image of their lifestyle and that image of Caesar Borgia coming off them boats. It's all part of that. It's one and the same. Just like you say that the son of perdition, and you say that who's representing us, who's the serpent seed and who's representing Lucifer, the rulers of Edom. It's all together. Them and Satan is one. They all working together. It's no separation. Just like our God is connected to the Israelites, Lucy is with them, the Amalekites. Finish reading.
These both were cast alive into a lake of fire burning with brimstone. And the remnant were slain with the sword of him that sat upon the horse, which sword proceeded out of his mouth, and all the fowls were filled with their flesh.
Malachi. No, 2nd Esdras chapter 11. Start at verse 32 through 46. Us in 2nd Esdras.
2nd Esdras chapter 11,
Con.
verse
32.
the book of 2nd Esdras chapter 11 and verse 32. But this head put the whole earth in fear, and bare rule in it over those that dwelt upon the earth with much oppression. And it had the governance of the world more than all the wings that had been.
They've governed the whole world. Caesar's crown around the United Nations.
And after this I beheld, and lo, the head that was in the midst suddenly appeared more like as the wings. But there remained the two heads, which also in like sort ruled upon the earth, and over those that dwelt therein. And I beheld, and lo, the head upon the right side devoured it that was upon the left side. Then I heard a voice which said unto me, Look before thee, and consider the thing that thou seest.
Esdras, check this out.
And I beheld, and lo, as it were a roaring lion chased out of the wood. And I saw that he sent out a man's voice unto the eagle, and said, Hear thou, I will talk with thee, and the highest shall say unto thee, Art not thou it that remainest of the four beasts?
That fourth beast. The fourth beast that's going to rule the kingdom when you read Daniel 7. The fourth beast representing the eagle. Edom. All through Rome. Eagle, eagle, eagle. Book of Obadiah. Eagle, eagle, eagle. We know who the eagle is. The eagle has landed. What eagle? The eagle has landed. All on the dollar bill. Letting you know. Edom. Edom.
Art not thou it that remainest of the four beasts, whom I made to reign in my world, that the end of their times might come through them? And the fourth came and overcame all the beasts that were past, and had power over the world with great fearfulness, and over the whole compass of the earth with much wicked oppression.
Much wicked oppression. Let's sit on that. Much wicked oppression that they do. It's wicked to put drugs in community. It's wicked to give you inflation. It's wicked to not give you a living wage on minimum wage. It's wicked oppression to give you that spiritual power to keep you sleep away from the Most High. It's spiritual oppression to not give you the truth of the Bible. It's wicked oppression to tell you it's okay for a child to come and get an abortion. It's wicked. It's wicked. It's wicked. Woo! It's wicked. The Most High say. He had indignation against forever against them. Finish reading.
And so long time dwelt he upon the earth with deceit. For the earth hast thou not judged with truth.
They ain't judged this world with truth. Because, see, they tell you it's okay if you go sell the drugs. They'll tell you at your job you have to call that woman a man, or you could get in trouble. They'll tell you it's your business. You have to lie just to go with the programming. Finish reading.
For thou hast afflicted the meek. Thou hast hurt the peaceable. Thou hast loved liars, and destroyed the dwellings of them that brought forth fruit. and hast cast down the walls of such as did thee no harm. Therefore is my wrongful dealing come upon, so like it come up unto the highest, and thy pride unto the mighty. The highest also hath looked upon the proud times, and behold, they are ended, and his abominations are fulfilled. And therefore appear no more, thou eagle, nor thy horrible wings, nor thy wicked feathers, nor thy malicious heads, nor thy hurtful claws, nor all thy vain body, that all the earth may be refreshed, and may return, being delivered from thy violence, and that she may hope for the judgment and mercy of him that made her.
Mm-hmm. Last scripture. Let's get Malachi chapter 1, verse 1 through 4.
The book of Malachi, chapter 1, verse 1. The burden of the word of the Lord to Israel by Malachi.
This is what the Most High say to you Israelites out there that have lost your heritage, that don't know where to go, that's just trusting in the system of the world. This is what he's saying,
I have loved you, saith the Lord.
He say he loves us.
Yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us?
Man, where has God loved us? We been jacked up,
Was not Esau Jacob's brother?
Wasn't Esau our big brother that's ruling the world today?
Yet I love Jacob, and I hated Esau.
He can't stand Esau because of what's up in him. He can't stand the Edomites that have chosen the wicked route. But he say he gonna leave a remnant. Amos chapter 9. Israel, teach this Bible right.
And laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness.
The dragons, the fallen spirits, the fallen angels, the dragons that's ruling these heathen governments, like we was bringing out.
Verse 4. Whereas Edom said, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places.
Oh, we coming back. Renaissance on the way. They did.
Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down.
They've built.
And they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever.
Forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. They've been ruling the world for about over 2,000 years. Clock is ticking. Kingdom on the way. Judgment on the way. With that, bless you all. Repent. Get right with the Most High. Get water baptism. For you Israelites saying that no, Christ got in water. We getting in water. We gonna teach what the Bible say. We not trusting these elders and bishops and deacons. Even if they've been in the truth longer, don't you be trusting them because they got people following. No, you better do what the Bible tell you to do.
And the Lord shall scatter thee among all
High,
people,
repent.
from the one
Bless
end
you
of the
all,
earth
shalom.
even unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. And among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest. But the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart, and failing of eyes, and sorrow of mind. And thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shalt have none assurance of thy life. In the morning thou shalt say, would God it were even, and at even thou shalt say, would God it were morning. For the fear of thine heart wherewith thou shalt fear, and for the sight of thine eyes which thou shalt see. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. The word that came to Jeremiah from the Lord, saying, Thus speaketh the Lord God of Israel, saying, Write thee all the words that I have spoken unto thee in a book. For lo, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will bring again the captivity of my people Israel and Judah, saith the Lord. And And I will cause them to return to the land that I gave to their fathers, and they shall possess thee. And I will save her that halteth, and gather her that was driven out. And I will get them praise and fame in every land where they have been put to shame. At that time will I bring you again, even in the time that I gather you. For I will make you a name and a praise among all people